You ready for this challenge? Little Beatles. Okay, here we go. First finger, index finger on your 10th fret of your A string for a G. Pinky or third finger, whichever you feel more comfortable with, on the 12th fret of your B string, of your second string. Alright, and in the pick hand, our thumb's going to go to the play the 5th string. Index is going to look after the 3rd string, and middle is going to look after the 2nd string. And the ring, only used a couple times in the song, but we'll look after the 1st. Okay, so we're going to hit thumb and middle together, which will be strings 5 and 2. Then you're going to go index finger by itself on 3, back to the middle, 1, 2, thumb by itself on 5, back to the middle on 2, index on 3. That's the pattern. So together you have thumb and middle, which is on 5 and 2, index on 3, middle on 2, thumb on 5, middle on 2, index with 3 again. So we're going, and it's an 8th note with 4/16 and an 8th note, so we get long, short, 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 long, long, short, 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 long. So together, index, middle, thumb, middle, index. Together, index, middle, thumb, middle, index. And if I did the strings, it's 5 and 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 3. 3, 2, 5, 2, 3. Speed it up. You'll notice your thumb just plays on the beat. Click, click, sorry, click, 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 click. That's, of course, me clicking. Ha. Anyway, okay, so, and then for the very beginning of the tune, the intro, we're going to come back here. We're going to play G on the 3rd fret of our low E, and we're going to play that open B with the middle. So now our 6 is on, thumb is on the 6th string, but middle finger is still on 2. But so 6 and 2, G and open B, and then the index finger will play open G all by itself. Okay? And then your thumb's going to move down to the 5th string, middle will stay where it was on 2, but your first finger here is going to go to the 1st fret of your 2nd string for a C. So we're now playing open A, 5th string, and then the 2nd string, which happens to now be a C. So A and C together, then open G. So we went from low G with open B, 6 and 2 to open G, and then 5 and 2, which is open A and this C with your first finger, again to the open G with the index, and then we're going to go B, 2nd fret of your A string, and D, 3rd fret of your B string, to give us a B and a D together, which will still be 5 and 2, just like we were for the A and C, index to the open G. This B and D you may want to play with 1 and 3. I don't care much for 1 and 2, but I mean you could. 1 and 3, or 1 and 4 even, or 2 and 4. I like 2 and 4, so my intro kind of looks like this. I'm going from my 3rd finger on that low G, on my 1st finger playing that C with my open A, and then my B and D with 2 and 4. And then from there, we're going to slide up to where we just talked about a minute ago, which is essentially a G chord, the G and the B. It's basically part of this G, which you may recognize. If I go G, back it up a whole step to F, half step to E, whole step to D, whole step to C, half step to B, whole step to A. Recognize that? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Just the A chord. When we move it up a whole step, it's B, but the fret would have had to go with us, or we could play it like that, or bar it, whichever, B, C, D, E, F, G, voila. But we're just playing strings 5 and 2, so we don't need to bar it. So our intro goes from the G, an open B, again to that index. That index, you'll notice, is always on the middle there, on that 3rd string, in between everything. So G and B to open G, A and C to open G, B and D to open G, slide all the way up, and then you're to the pattern. Right, so I'm going, and that's the blackbird singing in the dead of night. We'll go just a little bit further further on this one, and then I'll do the next video for the next half. Anyway, from this G chord basically here in 10th position, we're going to move it back to 3rd position for C. So you got your first finger on the 3rd fret of your A string and pinky on the 5th fret of your B string for a C and an E. We're going to play those together, 5 and 2, thumb and middle just like before, to the index by itself on 3 again. Then we're going to go to a C sharp here, 2nd finger on the 4th fret of the A string, 1st finger on the 3rd fret of your high E. And so now we're playing 5 and 1, so our ring finger finally gets to play. Thumb and ring, and again index will be by itself in between on the 3rd string. So we're going C and E here, 3rd fret and 5th fret of strings 5 and 2, to that open G, then C sharp. So you're going up a half step here from C to C sharp. When your first finger coming from the C down here to this G on your 1st string, 3rd fret. And remember, in the right hand, your thumb and ring finger, because you're playing strings 1 and 5. Again, index on G. So we went from 5 and 2 on the C to 5 and 1 on the C sharp, right? Then basically we do the exact same thing in 5th position, which is giving us a D chord, and then D sharp. So we're going C, and then we're going to go 1/2 step higher to an E, 7th fret of your A string, and then G, 8th fret of your B string. And that's going to give us basically an E minor chord. And we will come back to the same pattern that we did in the beginning of the tune. Thumb and middle finger together on 5 and 2. Index, middle, thumb, middle, index. Together, index, middle, thumb, middle, index. But on this E minor. So all together so far we have G and B to open G, A and C to open G, B and D to open G, jumping to 10th fret for what we said was essentially a G chord, with our pattern, coming back to 3rd position for a C chord basically, 3rd fret of your A string, 5th fret of your B, open G, then C sharp, and the first finger, remember, comes to the 1st string now, and the ring finger comes in, so you're playing 5 and 1, open G, move that up, and do the exact same thing in 5th position. Right, so it looks identical to what you did back in C, but just a whole step higher. And then you go to your 7th fret for an E to give us an E minor chord, and we get to play the finger pattern again. And you'll notice in that last little step up, it basically just went C, 3rd fret, C sharp, 4th fret, D, 5th fret, D sharp, 6th fret, E, 7th, right? C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. And then the pattern. Last part we'll just do here. Your E will drop back a half step, which is now going to give us an E flat chord. Same pattern still. And then we're going to come back to the D that we played a little while ago. First finger on the 5th fret, pinky on the 7th fret of strings 5 and 2. To the open G, you're going to come back to this C sharp diminished sound essentially, I guess. We get a C sharp, 4th fret of your A string, and 1st finger on the 3rd fret of your high E, right? Okay, got lost there for a minute. So let me go back, E minor with the pattern, back up the 1st finger for E flat, D, C sharp, C. So we're back to that same C chord, right? 1st finger on the 3rd fret of your A string for a C, pinky on the 5th fret of your B string for an E. You get to play the pattern again, same